Ready to tune up? Not quite yet. We're going to take a step backwards before we go forward in this video, as you'll see. But welcome to Guitar Chords InfoStream, Tuning Up, Part 2. In Part 2, I want to talk to you about these tuning keys. The tuning keys are the little knobs that are attached to the headstock that we twist in order to tune the guitar, and the headstock being this part at the end of the neck that the tuning keys are attached to. So before I start on the tuning keys, I want to play a nice bright sounding chord for you on the guitar. It's not necessary for you to learn the chord at this point. I just want you to listen and observe how the chord sounds when the guitar is in tune. So now what I want to do is demonstrate how these tuning keys work by actually using them wrong, and that is detuning the guitar. Because not only in this video do I want to show you how to operate the tuning keys, I want to show you the difference between how a chord can sound on the guitar when the guitar is in tune and when the guitar is not in tune. And the reason being is because tuning is so important, especially when you're just starting out, because a beginner can be learning everything right, but if the guitar is not in tune, it's going to sound wrong. And that can cause someone to get discouraged and quit, and we don't want any of that. So let me play this chord for you one more time. And now I'm going to proceed to make a mess out of it. So there's a tuning key for each one of these, each one of the strings on the guitar, and of course you can just watch and see on your on the neck of your guitar and your fretboard and headstock how they go. But the first tuning key that I'm going to talk to you about is the one for the 6th string or low E string. So the way you use these tuning keys is first you pluck the string, and then you turn it counterclockwise if you want to raise it in pitch, if you want to raise the string in pitch. Or you pluck it and turn it counterclockwise if you want to lower it in pitch. And listen to how the string does as you turn the pitch. You don't want to turn the key and then listen to the string. That's not really good. So let me officially detune the 6th string. Now I'm going to detune the 5th string or A string. Now the 4th or D string. And actually I just did something wrong. I didn't mean to. I got kind of herky-jerky when I turned the string. I just caught it at an odd angle and ended up giving it more force than I intended to. So that's a good example of how not to use them, because if you get herky-jerky with them, the string is prone to snap on you, whether you're tightening the string or loosening the string. And that's essentially what we do when we change the tuning. If we raise the string in pitch, we're tightening the string, or if we lower the string in pitch, we loosen the string. So let's take a listen to that same chord again and see how it sounds now that I've sabotaged 3 of my own strings. Doesn't sound good at all. Well, let's go ahead and detune the rest of them. I'm going to move on to the 3rd or G string. Now for the tuning keys that are on the bottom of the headstock, you turn them in the opposite direction than you would the ones on top. Example, to raise these strings in pitch, you would turn them clockwise. You would turn the tuning key clockwise. Whereas to raise the strings in pitch on the tuning keys that set above the headstock, you would turn them in that in order to raise them in pitch. you would turn them counterclockwise. And now with this third string, I'm going to lower it in pitch. So I'm going to, it'd help if I grab the right one. That's something, I'm actually glad I did that, because that's something, another thing that a beginner can do when tuning the guitar, or even changing strings on a guitar. You may grab the wrong tuning key by mistake, which I did just there, and you could be, for instance, I could be tuning the, what I did is I accidentally grabbed the tuning key for the second string instead of the third string, so I might be, well, what's wrong here? It's not changing. Well, the reason is I'm turning the wrong key. So let me go back to the third string, the one that I was originally set out. And in order to lower this in pitch, I'm going to turn it counterclockwise. So on the bottom one's counterclockwise to lower, clockwise to raise, and then on the top ones it's just the opposite. So now let me move on to the second string and finish knocking it out of tune. And that's the second or B string. And finally the first string, or high E string. Now let's listen to that chord again. Ooh. See, it's the exact same chord that I played before, and I'm actually playing it right. Everything's right about the way I'm playing this chord, except for my tuning. So that does it for part 2. In part 3, I'm going to show you a little bit more basic setup material, and then in part 4, we'll retune the guitar. And again, the reason that I'm breaking this series up into shorter videos is so they don't get as boring and long-winded as basic setup material tends to be, no matter what you're learning. So if you would, please give this a like, even though there's really nothing to like about this chord anyway. I promise it'll get better before the series ends. And subscribe, because there's lots more of these videos always on the way. And leave a positive comment if you would. And that having been said, I'll see you in part 3. Don't worry, we'll fix it.